Hey friends, Rich, the handy Christian counselor here, uh, doing something a bit different. It is dark out here, but we've got a little bit of a problem. My car, or one of our cars, went to start it and it just clicked. I didn't actually turn the engine over. So, uh, what does that mean? Well, typically it means the battery's dead. I checked it, had a little voltmeter, we'll go through that in a moment, but checked it, and the voltage was 12 volts, which is what it's supposed to be, but it didn't have enough power to turn the engine over. But I also have a battery charger because I'm just, the handy guy. So I put the battery charger on it, and after a few moments, I went to start the car and it started. So, and then I checked the voltage while the car was running, and it was around 14 volts. Which told me that the charging system was working correctly. So it had to be the battery. So since it was under warranty, I took it back to the place I got it, and they checked it, and they gave me a replacement battery. So now, and, since I need to use the car at some time soon, probably tomorrow morning, I'm outside putting a battery in the car. So we're going to talk briefly about that, but then what are some interesting psychological issues? I'm going to do something really crazy here. We're going to do the YouTube experience. What are some psychological issues going on? When I think about batteries, I just set the battery in here and it just give you ideas. I'm wrestling this thing in because it's not exactly light. These are lead acid batteries, which are the typical ones. Let's see if I can get you in there. I'm going to get all dizzy and crazy. There it is. Yep, you got the battery right there. Positive side, which is the red, and the negative side, they put a little cap over here, and somewhere down here is the negative. There's the negative lead. So I'm gonna be hooking those up here. Since this is an import car, and all the new American cars also use metric wrenches. This one happens to be 10 millimeter, and got my little socket ratchet here. Gonna be using that. So, but psychology, counseling. What in the world? What's the deal? Well, when I think of batteries, I think of one of our hearts and our souls a little bit. And every battery has a capacity. It has a amount of charge it holds, and it can be used by itself for a while, right? Until the charge gets low enough, and then it is no longer useful for its intended purpose. It needs to be charged up. Well, I think I'm going to take this little cap off here. I think our people are the same way. We have battery. We have our heart, our soul. We'll have our physical battery, sort of thing, and energy, and our bodies are basically a bunch of electrical impulses that go on, the neurons and fire, and it takes energy and that sort of thing. So we need fuel. We need to be charged up. That's all important. And one of the things about our bodies and the chemical reaction that goes on is actually oh yeah, let's do this just a minute. I put the positive battery link on first and tightened that up here with the wrench, and now it's tight, can't move it. And I'm gonna do the negative one. You do that because if I touch the negative to the body, it doesn't do anything. But if I would touch right now the positive to the body with my wrench, it would spark because the negative is connected to the body of the car, and it completes the circuit. So you put that one on before you put this one on, and then you reverse it when you take it off. Take the negative off first and positive off after that, so you don't make sparks. But biochemically, our psychology and our emotions, our mood, our ability to process nerve signals and such are chemicals, and we have a limited amount of those. And the typical ones for your oops, forgot to put that on. Your moods are norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. And a lot of times we think about those chemicals in our brain, and we want that they probably recharge there. But the actual truth is that I think it's about 80% of those chemicals are made in our gut, and requires fuel, requires rest, and basically kind of we often use rest as another way to describe it is to recharge, right? And that's important. So we need to be able to rest. But in addition to the biochemical, there is the soul, the heart. I think we have limited capability of that. Whoops. Also, sorry, I got lighting is always fun. You're looking at my face now, and we have to do things to recharge that. Well, not just our physical body. And as far as the battery goes, this is called battery hold down. It goes around the battery like so, and I don't know if you'll be able to see in here or not. I can't see what you can see because of the camera, but the end of this little doohickey here, the bolt, hold down bolt, it's got a hook on it, and there's a little hole down there for that hook to go on, and get the same hook on the other side here, and might have to loosen the bolts a little bit more than when I took it out, so I can get those on. I'll do that while I'm talking. We have to rest. We have to, and recharging our batteries can be done a variety of different ways, but it finds like silence and quiet and peaceful, sometimes outdoors, is a great way to recharge. Some of us also recharge by being with people. It's kind of an introvert extrovert deal, but it is it's critical. A lot of us are super busy, and we don't often take the time to recharge our batteries. And that short term, I think that's okay. Sometimes we just have to work really hard and long and lots of hours, but if we don't, we'll end up with kind of a dead battery, and we really won't be able to get going at all. So, and if we don't recharge our batteries, not only is that detrimental to us, but then it's detrimental to all the people around us as well. All right, so here you go. Let's give you a brief. You got that. Tighten this down for here, and I'm working on a Honda Civic here. Got that on. These are tight. I'm going to touch that, and this is tight, so the battery can wiggle around. Got that snug down, and I'm going to go start it up here briefly. Make sure it works. I'll be right back. You'll hear if it starts or not as soon as I find the keys. There we go. Success! Battery works. Now, just a little bit more education while we're here. I'll show you my little multimeter here. Set it on DC volts, and my positive and negative leads here. And all I have to do is, it doesn't matter which way you touch it. If you want to keep it right, put the red one on the positive and the black one on the negative, and I think from your perspective, I'm not sure if it's backwards or forward. You can see it's 14.7-ish volts. That tells me that the alternator is working and it's charging, so it is replenishing the battery. And it takes a little more voltage to push electricity back into the battery than the battery produces itself, which is why it's 14 volts and not the 12 that it is. Let me turn it off and I'll show you the battery charge. Alright, handy multimeter one more time. We have, let's see, put it on the negative and then the positive, and you see that it's 12.2 7-8 volts. Looks like 15 from my side, but it's probably because it's backwards, but hopefully it's forwards for you. And you can see a little over 12 volts. That's a good good battery. But it is important that we recharge our own batteries, and I give my clients to make sure that they do that. So, I recharge my battery by being quiet. I recharge my battery by going into nature, and recharge my battery by reading, by sometimes just sitting with somebody, watching a movie. Some people recharge by hanging out with people. It's a good thing to do as well. But there's some thoughts along with replacing the battery in the car. I'll catch you later.